Welcome to our channel, Legends of Black Excellence. In this video, we're diving deep into the hidden lives of some of Hollywood's most iconic black stars from the Golden Age. You might know them for their legendary performances, but what if we told you that many of them had a secret that could shake up everything you thought you knew? Get ready for some shocking revelations as we count down the top 20 secretly bisexual black stars of Golden Age Hollywood. You won't believe who made the list. Butterfly McQueen. Butterfly McQueen, an iconic figure in Hollywood's Golden Age, is best known for her unforgettable role as Prissy in Gone with the Wind, 1939, where she brought her high-pitched, distinctive voice to life. Her performance as the quick-witted maid catapulted her to fame, but behind the scenes, McQueen's life was much more complex than her on-screen persona suggested. While Hollywood celebrated her role in the legendary film, McQueen's personal life was full of struggles, secrets, and quiet rebellions. Unlike many actresses of her time, McQueen was outspoken about race and gender, challenging the racial stereotypes that Hollywood often pushed onto black actresses. However, when it came to her love life, she kept it deeply private. Rumors about her romantic relationships with women lingered throughout her life, though McQueen never confirmed these speculations. It is believed that she concealed her bisexuality in order to protect her career, as Hollywood in the 1940s had little room for black actresses, especially those who defied societal norms. Despite the pressures she faced, McQueen was a woman of immense talent and intellect. She was far more than just a Hollywood actress. She was a pilot, a social activist, and an intellectual. McQueen boldly rejected religion, a rare stance during her time, and frequently spoke out on issues of racial and gender equality. Her desire to challenge traditional norms was evident in her career, as she once said, "I didn't mind playing a maid the first time, but after that, I resented it." McQueen's achievements were not confined to Hollywood. She was one of the few black women of her time to pursue aviation, proving that her talents extended beyond acting. Her legacy goes beyond her role in Gone with the Wind, as she paved the way for future black actresses to take control of their own narratives. McQueen's secret life as a bisexual woman is just one part of her multifaceted legacy, one that challenges traditional narratives and celebrates her unique contributions to the arts and activism. Theresa Harris. Theresa Harris was not just a talented actress, she was a trailblazer who refused to be confined by Hollywood's narrow expectations of black women. Throughout her career, she appeared in over 80 films, often relegated to supporting roles or playing maids, but her beauty, charm, and exceptional acting skills set her apart from her peers. Despite her undeniable talent, Hollywood continually denied her leading roles. In an era when black actresses had little choice but to play subservient characters or leave the industry, Harris stood firm, determined not to be pigeonholed. One of her most notable performances was alongside Bette Davis in Jezebel, 1938, where many critics believed she deserved a leading role, yet Hollywood never offered her one. But there was a secret Hollywood didn't want to acknowledge: Harris's rumored romantic relationships with women. In a time when being openly bisexual could destroy a career, Harris kept her personal life under wraps. Though whispers of her same-sex relationships with female co-stars followed her, Harris never publicly confirmed them, choosing instead to keep her love life private. Theresa Harris was a pioneer for black actresses, insisting on being credited for her roles when many others were left uncredited. She demanded recognition and made sure audiences knew her name. Though Hollywood restricted her to minor roles, her talent and presence made an indelible mark on the industry. Despite the challenges she faced, Harris's legacy as an actress who stood up for herself and for black women in Hollywood is undeniable, with her secret bisexuality being just one part of a life that defied the constraints placed on her. Nina Mae McKinney. Nina Mae McKinney, often dubbed the Black Garbo, was a star whose talent and beauty promised a superstar career. McKinney was one of the first black actresses to break through to international fame, captivating audiences with her performances in singing, dancing, and acting. Her breakout moment came in 1929 when she starred in Hallelujah, one of the first films with an all-black cast, supported by a major Hollywood studio. Her undeniable talent led MGM to sign her to a contract, a groundbreaking achievement for a black actress at the time. However, despite her exceptional abilities, McKinney was repeatedly denied leading roles in Hollywood. the industry's racial barriers kept her from the opportunities she deserved. Disillusioned by Hollywood's treatment, McKinney took her talents to Europe, where she found success in London and Paris. It was during this period that rumors began circulating about her romantic relationships with both men and women, a truth that Hollywood conveniently erased from its records. She was said to have had affairs with European aristocrats, actors, and even other female entertainers, yet McKinney never publicly acknowledged her bisexuality due to the immense pressure from the industry and societal norms. By the 1940s, McKinney had largely disappeared from Hollywood, but her influence on black actresses cannot be overstated. She paved the way for stars like Dorothy Dandridge and Lena Horne, who followed in her footsteps. Despite her groundbreaking contributions to cinema, McKinney never received the recognition she truly deserved. Her life, full of talent and groundbreaking achievements, remains a testament to the unacknowledged struggles of many black women in Hollywood, and her secret bisexuality is just one part of her remarkable legacy. Juano Hernandez. Juano Hernandez was one of the first black men in Hollywood to break the mold and take on significant roles that defied racial stereotypes. Born in Puerto Rico, Hernandez began his career as a circus acrobat and radio actor before moving to Hollywood in 1949. He made a lasting impression with his powerful performance in Intruder in the Dust, where he portrayed a black man falsely accused of a crime, challenging racial injustice on screen. His performance earned widespread acclaim from critics, marking him as one of the most promising talents of his time. Despite Hollywood's recognition of his exceptional talent, Hernandez led a life full of secrecy. Throughout his career, rumors of his secret same-sex relationships persisted, though few documented details exist. Close friends within the industry suggest that Hernandez lived a double life, carefully navigating the conservative culture of Hollywood, where being openly bisexual could easily end a career. Rather than address the rumors, Hernandez chose to remain silent, keeping his private life hidden. Unlike many black actors of his era, Hernandez never played subservient roles. He was a respected, serious actor who ensured his characters had dignity and were portrayed with respect. Despite his critical success, Hernandez still had to fight for equal opportunities within the industry. He was nominated for a BAFTA award long before Hollywood even considered honoring black actors, proving that he was a man ahead of his time, defying the limitations of racial and societal expectations. Hernandez's legacy is a reminder of how talent can transcend barriers and expectations. His quiet resistance to the norms of his era, including the secret of his bisexuality, is an integral part of his remarkable career and influence on Hollywood. Louise Beavers. Louise Beavers was one of Hollywood's most talented actresses, known for playing kind-hearted maids and nurturing mother figures on screen. Yet, behind her roles, Hollywood never allowed her to take on more diverse parts. Beavers became famous for her heartwarming performances in films such as Imitation of Life, 1934, where her portrayal of a motherly figure left a lasting impact. She quickly became one of the most recognized black actresses of the 1930s and 1940s. Despite her undeniable talent, she was consistently confined to playing subservient characters in a time when Hollywood had limited opportunities for black actresses. Off-screen, Beavers faced a different kind of battle. She lived in an era of deep conservatism, and whispers about her love life, especially her rumored relationships with women, followed her throughout her career. Many in the industry believed that Beavers had long-term romantic relationships with women, although she never publicly confirmed these rumors. Nevertheless, Beavers was one of the highest-paid black actresses of her time, understanding that speaking out about racial discrimination in her personal life could have led to her immediate exclusion from Hollywood. So, she chose silence, sacrificing her personal happiness to preserve her career. In addition to her remarkable film career, Beavers was a pioneer in television, becoming one of the first black actresses to participate in a TV show. This groundbreaking achievement came long before Hollywood was ready to fully recognize her contributions. Beavers' legacy is a testament to her extraordinary talent and resilience in an industry that frequently limited her opportunities. Her secret bisexuality was just one part of a life lived with quiet strength, navigating societal and professional challenges while leaving an undeniable mark on Hollywood. Hattie McDaniel. Hattie McDaniel made history by becoming the first black person to win an Oscar, but her personal life was filled with secrets that Hollywood never acknowledged. She won the Academy Award for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind, 1939, but her acceptance speech was bittersweet. McDaniel was forced to sit at a separate table during the ceremony, symbolizing the racial segregation that persisted even in moments of triumph. Despite her Oscar win, Hollywood continued to limit her opportunities, refusing to offer her serious roles. However, McDaniel's struggles went beyond her professional challenges. Her personal life was also marked by pain, with rumors circulating about her romantic relationships with women in her inner circle. Although she was publicly married to men, some sources suggest that she had deep, intimate relationships with female companions. Given the societal and racial context of the time, McDaniel never publicly acknowledged these relationships, choosing to keep her private life hidden. Yet, McDaniel's story is not just one of adversity, it is one of resilience and advocacy. She became a vocal advocate for Black actors in Hollywood, fighting tirelessly for more equitable opportunities and for her right to be recognized beyond the stereotypes Hollywood imposed on her. Even as Hollywood continued to typecast her as the mammy or caretaker role, McDaniel continued to push for change. She was also a professional singer before becoming an actress, recording songs and even performing in clubs before Hollywood sought her out. Hattie McDaniel's legacy transcends her Oscar win. She was a trailblazer for Black actresses, fighting not only for better roles but also for the recognition of her full identity. Her secret bisexuality adds another layer to her complexity as a person who defied the era's rigid expectations in both her career and personal life. Canada Lee. Canada Lee was a Hollywood rebel, a talented actor, and a man who refused to be confined by the industry's rigid expectations. His breakthrough role in Lifeboat, 1944, made him one of the first Black actors to take on complex, non-stereotypical roles in Hollywood. Lee's performance in Cry, The Beloved Country, 1951, further solidified his reputation as a serious and respected actor, known for his depth and skill. However, his off-screen life was just as compelling, marked by rumors of his political activism, social engagement, and a secret love life. Lee was a fearless civil rights advocate, a position that made him a target for Hollywood's powerful elite. During the Red Scare period, the FBI blacklisted him, causing a sudden halt to his career. While his political involvement made him controversial, it wasn't just his activism that stirred the pot. His rumored relationships with men, particularly within artistic and activist circles, added another layer of complexity to his persona. Lee never publicly addressed his romantic life, but the whispers about his secret affairs with other men became one of Hollywood's most closely guarded secrets. Despite the hurdles he faced, Lee continued to push boundaries both on and off the screen. He fought for racial equality and for his right to play roles that conveyed dignity and depth, rather than simply filling stereotypical molds. His willingness to live authentically in a time when such behavior could destroy a career speaks volumes about his courage. His hidden bisexuality was just one part of the remarkable man who defied the industry and era's oppressive norms, leaving a lasting impact on Hollywood. Fredi Washington. Fredi Washington was a striking beauty and a trailblazer in Hollywood, yet her life held a secret that the world was reluctant to accept. She was talented, brave, and deeply misunderstood. Washington rose to fame with her performance in Imitation of Life, 1934, where she portrayed a biracial woman, a storyline that closely mirrored her own life. With her light skin and striking green eyes, Hollywood pressured her to pass as white to gain better roles. However, she refused to conform, steadfastly maintaining her Black identity, despite the personal and professional toll it took. But Washington's life wasn't just defined by her career struggles, it was equally marked by her complex personal life. Rumors circulated about her relationships with both men and women, with some sources suggesting that she had long-term romantic connections with female entertainers. Though she never publicly acknowledged these rumors, Washington's personal life was an integral part of her story. Disillusioned by Hollywood's refusal to offer her meaningful roles for Black actresses, Washington left the industry relatively early. Frustrated by the lack of opportunities, she became an advocate for Black actors' rights, pushing for equal recognition and fair representation in an industry that often tried to erase their presence. Washington helped found the Negro Actors Guild of America, a key organization that fought for the rights of black actors in Hollywood. Her legacy as an actress and activist transcends her roles on screen. Fredi Washington's refusal to compromise her identity and her quiet resistance to the industry's expectations made her a pivotal figure in the fight for racial equality in Hollywood. Her hidden bisexuality was a part of her life that remained unspoken, but it adds another layer to her resilience in the face of adversity. Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson was not only a Hollywood star, but also a legendary singer and one of the most powerful black figures in history. He was known for his commanding presence and strong voice in films like The Emperor Jones, 1933, and Showboat, 1936, where he became a global icon. Robeson was a man of many talents, an actor, lawyer, athlete, singer, and political activist. Despite his fame, Hollywood worked tirelessly to conceal the more controversial aspects of his life. Though he was married to a Sandiego, rumors about his romantic relationships with both men and women followed him throughout his life. Some historians suggest he had affairs with writers, artists, and male activists, but Robeson never publicly acknowledged these rumors. His love life remained a well-guarded secret, contributing to the complexity of his identity. However, it wasn't just his private relationships that brought him into conflict with Hollywood. Robeson's political activism, particularly his support for communism, made him a target of the U.S. government during the Red Scare. The government revoked his passport and blacklisted him, which led to his professional and personal life being severely disrupted. Hollywood, already reluctant to embrace his black identity, further distanced itself from him due to his outspoken political views. Despite these challenges, Robeson's legacy goes beyond the confines of Hollywood. He was fluent in over 20 languages and performed worldwide, showcasing his intellect and abilities that far exceeded the entertainment industry. Robeson's bisexuality and political activism were key aspects of his complex life, elements that were hidden from the public but undeniably shaped his journey as a trailblazer in both entertainment and social justice. Robert Earl Jones. Before James Earl Jones became the legendary voice of Hollywood, his father, Robert Earl Jones, had already made a significant mark in both film and theater. While his career was impressive, his personal life remained shrouded in mystery, largely overlooked by history. Robert Earl Jones appeared in classic films such as The Sting, 1973, and Lying Lips, 1939, and unlike many black actors of his time, he managed to carve out a space for himself in mainstream films. Despite his success, there were aspects of his personal life that Hollywood chose not to reveal. While he was married multiple times and had relationships with women, those close to him believed that he also had romantic relationships with men. Like many actors of his era, Jones kept his personal life private, aware of the harsh scrutiny and judgment that could destroy a career in an industry that had little tolerance for deviation from the norm. Jones' career was long and accomplished, but much of his personal life, particularly his bisexuality, remained hidden. Despite the challenges, his acting legacy lived on, particularly through his son, James Earl Jones, who continued the family's impact on Hollywood. Hollywood may have tried to erase parts of Robert Earl Jones' story, but his contributions to the film industry are undeniable. His quiet resistance to societal and industry pressures, as well as his hidden bisexuality, are just part of the remarkable story of a man who succeeded in an unforgiving world while maintaining a degree of authenticity in his own life. Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt is forever etched in history for her iconic portrayal of Catwoman, yet her private life was far more intriguing than the public persona that Hollywood crafted for her. Hollywood celebrated Kitt for her exotic beauty and magnetic charm, but the deeper secrets of her life remained hidden. Kitt was a true force of nature, a singer, dancer, actress, and activist. She appeared in films such as St. Louis Blues, 1958, and became a global sensation with her unforgettable sultry voice. Despite her captivating public image, Kitt's romantic life was far more complex and private. While her relationships with powerful men like Orson Welles and Charles Revson were public, there were also persistent rumors about her romantic involvements with women. Close friends revealed that she had deep relationships with women, yet Hollywood never acknowledged this part of her life. Kitt was fiercely independent, refusing to let anyone control her, even the industry that profited from her image. Her outspoken nature often put her at odds with Hollywood's elite. When Kit publicly criticized the Vietnam War during a White House luncheon, she was blacklisted from performing in the United States for nearly a decade. Despite these setbacks, Kit reinvented her career and remained a symbol of strength and reinvention. Fluent in 4 languages, she recorded songs in various languages, proving that her talents extended far beyond being just a Hollywood beauty. Eartha Kitt's legacy transcends her roles in film and television. She was a powerful activist, an international icon, and a woman who lived life on her own terms, never afraid to embrace her identity, including her hidden bisexuality. Her courage in the face of adversity and her commitment to living authentically make her a truly remarkable figure in Hollywood history. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge made history as the first black woman to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, but Hollywood shattered her heart and nearly erased her legacy. Dandridge gained fame for her role in Carmen Jones, 1954, a film that proved she was more than just a pretty face but a talented actress in her own right. However, despite this success, Hollywood continued to limit her opportunities, refusing to give her leading roles due to racial discrimination. Her personal life was filled with tragedy. She was rumored to have had relationships with powerful men like director Otto Preminger, but there were also whispers about a possible romantic involvement with the iconic Marlene Dietrich. These rumors were never confirmed, but insiders suggested that their bond was more than professional. Dandridge's private life was marked by hardship. She struggled with financial difficulties, depression, and ultimately passed away under mysterious circumstances at just 42 years old. Despite Hollywood never giving her the roles she deserved, Dandridge's influence on future generations of black actresses remains undeniable. She was famously dropped from the role in Porgy and Bess due to Hollywood's racial discrimination, a bold act of resistance in an era that was not kind to black artists. Dandridge's legacy is not just in her performances but in her fight for dignity in an industry that often ignored her talent and beauty. Her hidden bisexuality adds another layer to her complexity, one that Hollywood ignored, but which makes her story all the more remarkable. Isabel Sanford. Before becoming the legendary Weezy Jefferson, Isabel Sanford had a career in Golden Age Hollywood that few people know about. Sanford's journey started with films like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967, before she found fame on television, but her early years in Hollywood were marred by the industry's refusal to offer meaningful roles for black actresses. What many don't know is that Sanford was much more reserved in her personal life compared to the strong character she portrayed on screen. Although she was publicly married to a man, rumors circulated within Hollywood about her having a long-term relationship with a woman. Some close friends suggested that she had a secret romance with another famous actress, but during that time, she never publicly acknowledged it for fear it would harm her career. Despite the limitations imposed by Hollywood, Sanford went on to become the first black woman to win an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series, proving that she had become a star in her own right. Sanford left home to pursue her dream of becoming an actress, defying the objections of her conservative family, and forged a successful career in Hollywood. Her journey was not without its struggles, but she broke barriers with resilience and determination. Sanford's legacy not only lies in her iconic role as Weezy Jefferson, but also in her quiet resistance to societal pressures, including her hidden bisexuality, which added depth to the complexity of her life story. Ethel Waters. Ethel Waters was a legendary stage performer, a jazz singer, and a pioneering actress whose life in Hollywood was filled with both remarkable achievements and secrets that the industry tried to hide. Waters began her career as a jazz and blues singer before transitioning to film, appearing in movies such as Pinky, 1949, and Cabin in the Sky, 1943. She became one of the first black actresses to be nominated for an Oscar, breaking barriers in an industry that was not kind to black artists. However, her struggles went beyond the screen. Throughout her career, there were rumors about her romantic relationships with women. She had a particularly close relationship with her longtime companion, Ethel Williams, although Waters never publicly acknowledged this. Waters was a complex figure, deeply religious but also challenging societal norms. She refused to conform to the roles Hollywood tried to force her into, carving her own path in the industry despite the limitations placed on her. In her later years, Waters distanced herself from past relationships due to the pressure from conservative circles. Despite these challenges, she became the first black woman to have her own television show, making an indelible mark on the entertainment industry long before Hollywood was ready to fully accept her. Waters' legacy as an actress and singer transcends the limitations of Hollywood's treatment of black artists. Her hidden bisexuality was one of the many layers of her multifaceted identity, which made her not only a trailblazer for black women in entertainment but also an advocate for personal freedom in an unforgiving era. Billy Daniels. Billy Daniels was one of the most talented jazz singers of his time, a Hollywood star, and a man with a personal life shrouded in mystery. Daniels was captivating, gifted, and lived with a level of discretion that few could match. His big break came when he performed the song, That Old Black Magic, in the 1940s, with his warm voice, sharp suits, and commanding stage presence making him a star not just in nightclubs, but also in films and on television. He was one of the first to perform at Las Vegas casinos during a time when racial segregation still existed, further solidifying his place in entertainment history. Despite his public success, Daniels' personal life remained largely private. Whispers circulated in Hollywood that he had romantic relationships with both men and women. He was known to be close friends with several male artists, which fueled speculation about his sexuality. However, Daniels never publicly addressed these rumors, choosing to remain silent about his personal affairs. In the golden age of Hollywood, being openly bisexual could easily end a career, and Daniels chose to keep his private life hidden. Although Hollywood eventually pushed him aside as time passed, Daniels remained beloved by audiences throughout his 50-plus years in the industry. His remarkable career as a singer and performer was marked by his ability to charm and entertain, leaving a legacy that transcended the challenges of his time. Daniels' bisexuality was an aspect of his life that Hollywood ignored, but it is a part of what makes his story all the more remarkable, a man who succeeded in an industry that was far from accepting of diversity in all its forms. Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte was Hollywood's first heartthrob, a civil rights icon, and a man whose private life remained shrouded in mystery. Known for his charisma and allure, Belafonte's personal life, however, held a dimension that Hollywood chose to ignore. He rose to fame in the 1950s, not only with his role in Carmen Jones but also with his calypso music, becoming the first artist to sell over 1 million records and establishing himself as one of the world's most famous black stars. Behind this success, however, there were whispers about his romantic relationships with both men and women in the entertainment industry. Some sources claim Belafonte had deep connections with several male colleagues, but he kept these relationships hidden due to the social and political climate of the time. Despite his reserved personal life, Belafonte was outspoken about his political beliefs and civil rights activism. He worked alongside Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, fighting against racial segregation and inequality. This strong involvement in the civil rights movement led to Belafonte becoming a controversial figure in Hollywood, and his open political stance led the industry to distance itself from him. His activism, which included speaking out against racism, made him both a beloved and polarizing figure. Belafonte was even considered for the role of James Bond before Sean Connery, a potential opportunity that would have made him the first black actor to play the iconic spy, cementing his place in Hollywood history. Belafonte's life was not only defined by his groundbreaking career and activism but also by his hidden bisexuality, a facet of his identity that Hollywood refused to acknowledge. His refusal to conform to the industry's norms and his ability to break through racial barriers make him a truly remarkable figure whose legacy is not only in his music and acting but also in his courage to live authentically in a time when doing so was fraught with danger. Lena Horne. Lena Horne was the first black beauty icon in Hollywood, captivating audiences with her stunning looks and a voice that could melt hearts. However, behind her enchanting smile, Horne concealed secrets that Hollywood was unwilling to acknowledge. Horne became a star in the 1940s with films like Stormy Weather, 1943, and Cabin in the Sky, 1943, making history as the first black actress to sign a long-term contract with a major film studio. Yet, Hollywood frequently relegated her to minor roles or even cut her scenes when films were released in the South due to racial discrimination. What few people know is that Horne's love life was just as complex as her career. While she had public relationships with famous men like Lenny Hatton and Orson Welles, rumors swirled about her romantic connections with women, especially her close friend, actress Ava Gardner. Horne never publicly confirmed or denied these rumors, but in an era where Hollywood demanded women conform to a specific mold, Horne refused to comply. She became a civil rights activist, speaking out against racial discrimination and using her platform to challenge Hollywood's treatment of black artists. Ultimately, Horne left Hollywood to pursue a career on her own terms, despite the fact that her outspokenness led to being blacklisted and losing numerous roles. But even with the challenges she faced, Lena Horne never gave up. Her legacy transcends her career in entertainment, and her courage to live authentically, including her hidden bisexuality, adds depth to her remarkable story. Moms Mabley. Moms Mabley was one of the first openly gay comedy artists, yet Hollywood worked hard to bury the truth about her. Mabley became a legend in comedy during the 1920s, performing in famous theaters before stepping into the world of film and television. She was one of the highest-paid female entertainers of her time, but unlike many of her peers, Mabley didn't hide her sexuality. She openly had relationships with women, and her attire often reflected this, with her occasional choice of wearing men's clothing. During her comedic performances, she would joke about her attraction to women, though the public didn't always catch on. Hollywood didn't know how to handle Mabley because she was a black woman, openly gay, and unapologetic, qualities that the entertainment industry couldn't accept at the time. Despite these challenges, Mabley achieved immense success, performing on The Ed Sullivan Show and even at Carnegie Hall, becoming one of the most iconic performers in the history of comedy. She refused to conform to Hollywood standards, never pretending to be straight and never letting racism hinder her success. Her openness about her bisexuality was revolutionary, as it defied the norms of both race and gender at a time when such things were rarely acknowledged, especially in Hollywood. Mabley's courage to live authentically made her not only a groundbreaking comedian but also a trailblazer for the LGBTQ+ community in the entertainment industry. Her refusal to bow to societal pressures, along with her undeniable talent and charm, solidified her place as a comedy legend and an advocate for living truthfully. Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker was a spy, a superstar, and a woman with a deeply mysterious love life. She not only broke barriers but shattered them with her talent, civil rights activism, and shocking romantic relationships. Rising to fame in the 1920s as a unique dancer in Paris, Baker became one of the world's biggest black stars. While America rejected her, France embraced her, and she starred in films like Zuzu, 1934, and Princess Tam Tam, 1935, all while working as a spy for France during World War II. What Hollywood didn't want to acknowledge was that Baker was bisexual. She had public relationships with both men and women, including affairs with artists, aristocrats, and even a famous female gangster. However, in America, where film studios often went to great lengths to conceal her private life, Baker was forced to hide her sexuality. Despite this, she was an outspoken civil rights activist, refusing to perform for segregated audiences, participating in marches with Martin Luther King Jr., and adopting 12 children from different racial backgrounds to prove that unity was possible. Josephine Baker was the first black woman to star in a major film before Hollywood was willing to recognize black actresses. Her trailblazing career in entertainment was only matched by her dedication to fighting racial injustice and advocating for equality. While Baker's bisexuality remained largely hidden from the public eye, it played a significant role in shaping her identity and her refusal to conform to Hollywood's expectations. Her legacy extends far beyond her fame as an entertainer. Baker was a pioneer who defied norms, stood up for human rights, and lived her truth in a world that wasn't ready for it. Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday was a legendary jazz singer with an extraordinary voice, a life full of tragedy, and a past that history tried to erase. She became an icon in the music world, with haunting songs like Strange Fruit, a powerful protest against racial discrimination. Holiday was brave, unafraid to confront authority, especially when the FBI targeted her for drug use. Yet, her personal life was as tumultuous as her career. She had many complicated relationships with men, but she was also rumored to have romantic relationships with women, most notably with actress Tula Bankhead, a rebellious Hollywood star who shared her passion for nightlife and defying societal norms. Their relationship was said to be intense and emotional, yet also fraught with complications. When Holiday was arrested for drug use, Bankhead refused to stand by her, leaving Holiday deeply disappointed. Despite battling addiction and enduring harassment from law enforcement, Holiday's impact on music and culture was profound. She was one of the first black women to perform at Carnegie Hall, breaking barriers in an industry that sought to marginalize black artists. Her music continues to influence artists today, a testament to her unmatched talent and resilience. Billie Holiday was banned from singing in New York's nightclubs after being targeted by the government for her civil rights activism. However, she never stopped fighting, both for her right to perform and for the causes she believed in. Holiday's bisexuality remained largely unspoken, but it was a significant part of her identity, one that adds even more depth to the story of a woman who defied the odds and left an indelible mark on music and culture. As we wrap up today's video, we hope these shocking revelations about Hollywood's golden age black stars have given you a new perspective on the complexities of their lives. It's fascinating to think about the secrets they kept hidden while navigating an industry that wasn't always welcoming. What do you think about these untold stories? Were you surprised by any of the names on the list? If you enjoyed this deep dive into black excellence, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. And for more incredible stories about black legends, make sure to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to bring you more thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching.